Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. In today's episode, I'm going to share my tried and tested process for coming up with great ideas. A common theme I hear from people regularly when looking at where to get started in business with websites, with SEO, is ideas. Where to start, what to do, what ideas to work on, how to have good ideas. And this is something that, I struggled with myself back in the day. But I overcame that by realising there's only one way to have good ideas, and that's to have lots of bad ideas too. It's only by having lots of bad ideas that eventually the good ones will come to the surface. The fact is, you'll be having ideas all the time, but you probably just forget most of them. That's basically what happens with me. So the process I developed was I started recording every single idea I ever had when it came to business, when it came to websites, when it came to content, when it came to kind of any idea related to the work I was trying to do. I recorded the idea. And I did this quite simply to start with. I just got myself a little moleskin notebook, and every new idea I just wrote on a new page a brief headline, what the idea is. If there's any detail I got, might only be a few lines of notes that's explaining the idea, put a date on it, and then I wrote at the front of the notebook, the first few pages I saved and just put some lines in so that every idea I just wrote down the headline of the idea and the page that it was on. Now, this meant I started to build up over time a big list of ideas, talking hundreds of ideas. And some of them, most of them, would be rubbish. They'd be rubbish because I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the money, or I didn't have the time. But within that big cluster of ideas, there were a few little gems that started to appear. And as I would go over the book again and read it, and read the headlines, go through and read the ideas, some of them would start to sort of come up again and again. And those ideas were the ones I would work on, and I would build out more. And I can now look at that book and look at the websites and the income streams I've got now, and they came from those ideas. If I hadn't written those ideas down, ideas are fleeting. If you don't write them down, they tend to go. So what you need to do is literally just start writing all your ideas down. You don't need to act on them. Often just the act of writing them down removes them from your brain and you forget about them. The bad ones just go away, but the good ones you can come back to, you can see them in there and you can revisit them. And that's how you start to surface the good ideas. Now, I've taken this process one step further nowadays with, for example, with Keywords People Use. I'm constantly having ideas about new things we can implement, new ideas for content. And so what I do is I will record each of those ideas in Trello. So we use Trello within Keywords People Use to manage our processes and ideas and the workload that we're working on and new developments. So I just have a column in Trello with ideas, and any new ideas that come up related to Keywords People Use, I'll stick in there. And they're there for anyone on the team to comment on, to say they're a good idea or a bad idea. I always say these are just ideas, don't get hung up on them. This is stuff that we might want to think about. And if you put those ideas out there, then the good ones will start to rise to the surface and the bad ideas tend to get shut down or disappear. But if we don't write them down, if we don't record them, then those ideas are fleeting and they get lost. So this is the real core thing about how to have great ideas, is just to record all your ideas. We're all having ideas all the time. And if you don't record them, then you're gonna lose them. And those real golden nuggets can get lost. So what you've got to do is dead simple. Just write them down. You don't have to use a notebook like I did. You don't have to use Trello. You can use whatever system works for you, but just record them all. Write them down. This podcast came from an idea. Let's do a podcast. Wrote it down, thought about it, came back to it, eventually decided, let's give it a go. Let's give it a shot. And here we are now. And we've got people listening. I'm getting feedback. It's brilliant. And I'm really glad I did it. But if I'd never written the idea down, I might never have acted upon it. And then again, keywords people use, that was another idea that just got written in the book. And it was one that I eventually came back to and we built out. So it's dead simple to have good ideas, just have loads and loads of bad ones. So start doing it, start recording your ideas. You'll be amazed over time. You will start to build up such a list of ideas. You'll find the good ones and then you'll take them forward and you'll have great success with them. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is not that hard is brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com. These solutions finding the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. If you want to get in touch or have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel 5 on Twitter. Or you can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.